Warriors, I wanted to bring you a couple of thoughts about the site OnlyFans. There's so much to talk about here, but I want to make something very clear. OnlyFans is owned by a man named Leonid Redvinsky. He bought the site in 2018 for an undisclosed amount of money. Today is estimated he is worth $1.2 billion, but we don't really know because these things are very murky and in the dark. This Leonid Redvinsky is described as a porn entrepreneur. I've been seeing a lot of articles in the media lately describing how people are making so much money from OnlyFans that they quit their jobs as nurses or teachers, and perhaps women and men, they're saying, oh, husband and a wife, or we're working together, or we're making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, tens of thousands each day. I'm here to say to you, not really. There are a handful of people making money on the site OnlyFans. We know that there are many. It actually in 2018 was described as, going forward, the site to perhaps view underage children on this porn site. We call that CSAM, child sexual abuse material. That is a more descriptive way of saying child porn. Porn doesn't seem to capture it. Remember, any crime against a child under 18, a child, minor, these are all crimes. So I noticed that there was an article posted that said Leonid Redvinsky, the owner, a Ukrainian from Florida, Ukrainian businessman who rarely does any press, was looking to give away all his money. And they didn't really describe what he's doing with it. But he's giving it all away, like other billionaires today are doing for the good of society, giving away their money. I am here to tell you that there are many things happening with OnlyFans right now and not only OnlyFans, a lot of sites. There are a lot of lawsuits with underage children on these platforms. There are a lot of things going on with big tech, with Congress, that we are trying to get laws passed to protect children and all people, but particularly children. There's just so much going on. We have COSA, Kids Online Safety Act. We have Earn It, holding big tech accountable. We want to put all of these bills together and present them to Congress under one big, kind of umbrella, which they call an omnibus. I just don't want all of you, having worked in the media and entertainment for several decades, I don't want all of you to fall for every single thing you read online, or you read in a newspaper, or you hear even on your television, because you need to do your research. So many things. You know what I learned? That somebody will post a story, and I didn't know this until I was working in the business. And you know what? Many other media outlets will just pick up and run with that story. They don't do the research. They don't look into it. They don't study up, and they just give you that information. So you have to do your own research. But it's very disturbing to me and to others working in the field of human trafficking, sexual exploitation, protecting our children, to see these stories percolating all around us lately, that you can make so much money on OnlyFans. Because what vulnerable teen or what vulnerable person, because we are living today in unprecedented times. We are living where it's very scary every day. I always described it as being, well, I don't want to say that anymore. What I was just going to say, hit over the head with something, but I'm going to change that narrative a little bit, that word. And we're getting thrown into this chaos every day. So we've got to take a deep breath. We have to step back. We have to realize there are a lot of desperate people out there. A lot of people have to pay the rent, make their mortgages, take care of their kids. You're not going to do it on OnlyFans. I just read an article 2 days ago and I don't really post them on my Twitter, on my Facebook, because I find them just sensationalist. Why am I going to just post that? And there are plenty of people out there. I kind of want to call them out. They may have, thousands and thousands of followers, because all they do is tweet out this sensationalist kind of stuff regarding sexual exploitation. The goal of the Warriors is raising awareness. The goal of the Warriors is providing resources and education for you. The goal of the Warriors is have you go, oh, think about it. The goal of the Warriors is to just give you so you can talk to your child or teen, your family members, and get your heads wrapped around all of this, what I call a crisis with our children and families today in America. So when I see articles, OnlyFans, husband and wife, she gave up her job as a nurse because now she's making hundreds of thousands of dollars and he's directing her in these videos and they've got 3 kids. This is really sexual exploitation on steroids. A handful of people are making money with OnlyFans. This we know. The rest, not much. Why be exploited? Why fall into this category of, for a while, I think it was last year, OnlyFans certainly exploded, or they led us to believe it. It did this site, this platform during COVID when everybody was locked inside. And I noticed all of a sudden celebrities speaking up, well, I'm on OnlyFans and I'm making $1 million on OnlyFans. Don't fall for that. Don't fall for any of that. The truth is very few are making any kind of what we would call decent money. And besides, it's an exploiting site. We know, like many other sites, underage kids. We know, there's a lot percolating, I like to say right now, going on with all of these sites, with big tech, with people finally sitting up and taking notice that things have to change. I mean, after all, the internet born in 1996, the last Child Protection Act, 1998, 25 years, right? We have to do better. We will do better. But just know the goal of the Warriors is always to bring you information that you can think about, that you can talk about, and that you can know about. Don't fall for OnlyFans. OnlyFans equals failure. It's not something where you should be taking off your clothes. I mean, I don't want to make a judgment call. That's not it. I'm worried about our kids. I'm worried about our teens who see this stuff and read this stuff and then think, oh, I want those shoes. Oh, I want that money. Remember, we have a youth mental health crisis going on right now. We have, and if you sign up for my newsletter, new ones go out every Wednesday. Go to lynswarriors.org, scroll down on the right side, e-newsletter. A crisis with our kids in marijuana. And so many people, the whole newsletter last week was about this. So many people attacked me over this newsletter because I said kids and cannabis don't mix. Because we know for some kids and teens and young people, all people as a matter of fact, that the THC, the chemical in the cannabis, right, is so potent these days that kids are being poisoned. I know of some actual cases right now in the last week where people have reached out to me to say, yes, this has happened within our family. I talk to doctors and nurses, emergency rooms, just this is happening across the United States. We're not hearing a lot about it. And the kids are, some kids, again, because the THC is so potent that they're eating these edibles, right? They're eating the whole bag of cookies or the candies, or they're vaping. We've got oils. They're just ingesting. So some kids end up with nonstop vomiting. Some kids, I mean, they're basically poisoned, right? The doctors say they've never seen anything like this before. Some kids, in extreme cases, have these psychotic breaks. And, so if this video needs a warning, because I'm talking about reality, I'm talking about truth, well, get ready, because that's what we do at the Warriors. We want you to know what's going on. You've got to talk to your kids about this marijuana of 2022. It is not, what can I say? When they legalized marijuana recently in many different states, here in New York, where I am, legalized in March of 2021, and New Jersey was right around the same time. That meant the drug traffickers had to find a new way to make product, right? So then they created fentanyl and started flooding every town, city, rural area in America with fentanyl. Now, fentanyl, you might say marijuana is not as deadly as fentanyl, and you'd be correct on that, but that's poisoning our kids, right? But the marijuana for these extreme cases of kids ending up poisoned because they're cutting it with, we have studies, and if we should sign up for my newsletter because you'll read all about it, that are documented, cutting it with mildew and poisons, and then the kids are ingesting and smoking this. And so we've got that going on because we have a lot of vulnerable kids, getting back to our youth mental health crisis. And this is what the focus needs to be on, because if you're following the recent study, which we knew at the Warriors, we had all the information coming into us during the last year and a half, especially, of the effects of this COVID lockdown, not being in school, not socializing, not doing your group sports and dance classes, and just communicating with your friends for the kids, that you can't catch up on sitting in front of a computer, parents trying to help the kids, and Warriors, all this already, so I don't want to be repetitive here. But they finally admitted, the study came out last week, every grade level, K through 12, is behind in reading and arithmetic. And we know kids can't even write. We have studies and educators telling us they can't hold, and ones I talk to, they can't hold their pens and pencils because they're so used to swiping on their devices that it's very difficult for them. So everything's a mess. So we've got to step back. We've got to look at all this. We've got to see what we can do within our own circle, within our own families, in our own homes. And I'm here to start with, first of all, don't believe people making all these millions on these sites. And it always happens to be these sites are, ones that are pornographic in nature. Now think about that for a minute. And the second thing is, talk to your kids about marijuana, today's marijuana, because the potency level is between 90 and 100%. And the marijuana of the 70s and 80s, the THC levels, the potency was 3 to 4%. And remember, it was smoked. We didn't have edibles then. And kids think, I was told by one family, all the kids are vaping, secretly even, because it's a lot cheaper than beer and liquor, vaping. So we have a lot to deal with, and we will. And you will always turn to Lynn's Warriors for updates and education. As a matter of fact, on the website tomorrow, we'll be uploading a lot of new information going into November. We have a very exciting announcement that we hope to be making, definitely this week, but we hope to be making November 1st, which is right around the corner, that we're very excited about, which will spread the messaging of the Warriors, help more of you out there become warriors, because we're here to help you and your families. So take a deep breath, talk to your kids, communicate, form that family digital partnership, look to the Warriors for easy and free resources to protect your kids online. Start doing it. It's 2022. We're going into 2023. You have no excuse. It's time to be a warrior. And before I sign off, I want to thank all of you for following along, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and also listening to this video. Please share it. Please recommend it. Please do whatever you can take. Whatever you can do within your power to spread this information and take notice. And I'm concerned. I'm really worried about everybody. But I know if you're given the information, whether you're a parent or a caretaker, a grandparent, a concerned citizen, family member, you will utilize it and share it with your loved ones. Remember, each and every day, it's time to be a warrior.